No
do
more
it.
LIVE. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's another wonderful episode of BoobTube right here on EXXXOTICA.tv. And of course, it's not BoobTube without your lovely host, me, Platypusy, Casey Carter, and Desirable Bottom. Hello, ladies.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Konnichiwa.
Hey. What's going on today?
How many ways can we say hey?
Oh, listen, we can set that up for the next time. I can get me a whole list.
Only other way I know is like aloha, konnichiwa,
Bonjour.
Bonjour. True.
Mm-hmm.
Bonjour. So how's your week been?
I don't know.
Let's start with your day. How's your day been?
My day. Okay. So, as we know, I love to hate to talk about my job, my day job. However, today was the last day that I am working or that I was working in the office because I now have an on-site position and it's me and my admin, and we don't have to deal with the office BS. So I was excited and sad. I was excited because I know it's like a huge opportunity. Like I did all kinds of things to make this happen. But I'm also sad because a lot of my team members basically were like, we're going to come over to where you are. We're just going to come to your office and we're just going to hang out at your office. And one of them actually cried. And I was like, okay, you got to get out of my office now because you're going to make me cry. Yeah. So I did feel some kind of way that my team members are, and when I tell you I'm around the corner, like my office building can see exactly where I'm at. You can walk to where I'm at. So it's literally that close.
That's
that
awesome.
I'm not that far. But it definitely broke my heart that they were so upset that I was leaving the building.
You don't realize the impact that you have on people's lives until like we get so inundated with our issues, and a lot of times, like for instance today when I was speaking to someone about an incident that happened that we're not going to talk about live because not only is it embarrassing, but I don't want to alert anybody to what happened and make them go search. But anyway,
bad bitch alert.
Right. But I did a rookie dummy thing today, and in the midst of talking to someone, I'm like, we're talking about exiting the industry and, the difficulties that you experience in trying to disconnect from an online persona where your content is just everywhere. And in the midst of that conversation, that very person was like, are you thinking about leaving? You've done so many great things and you've made such a big impact on so many people's lives, a positive impact. And I'm like, for me, I remember the people that I've hurt or like the mistakes that I've made, but I often forget about the positive things that I've done. So you saying that resonated with me fully when they were like, are you thinking about leaving? And it's like, it's not so much about a thought about leaving. It's a thought about trying to diversify my income revenue, and that this industry is not as reliable for a full-time income as it used to be without really having to do a lot of things that you don't want to do. And when you get older and you get wiser, I want to be able to use the skills and knowledge that I've learned and the mistakes that I've made in the adult industry and apply them to something else now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like not leave, but
Right.
hobby money.
Something pivot, basically. Pivot.
Pivot.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, nobody wants to be at their job forever,
Right. Facts.
especially
or
when you are the product.
and feel like you have to be. I think that's the part that is more painful, is to feel like you have to be, because you can choose to because it fits your lifestyle, whatever, but when you feel like you have to be, and it's not tenable, like it's just not feeding your soul. Like, this is why the move for me is such a big deal, is because it was one of those, this either was going to happen or I was going to have to get a new job. Either way, I was going to have to exit the building, because it was, if I, so like I said earlier, I love to hate to talk about my job. It was literally eating my soul, like
Same.
eating my soul. And
Same.
I hated that because I had to go so I could pay my bills, and the sad thing is I love what I do, but the environment in which I was doing it was killing me.
I was just gonna say that's the same issue that I have. Is like we've talked about it before where I admit that I make mistakes. I admit that I can handle things differently. But when you're in a toxic environment, no matter how much you heal, people hold on to those
Yeah.
mistakes like you've done nothing good your whole life. Like you're the worst person on the
Right.
face of this planet and that you're unable to grow. And when you're in that toxic environment, it's hard for you to exist because you're just trying to do better today than you did yesterday and do better tomorrow than you did today. And all anybody wants to talk about is what you did last Friday. Like,
Right.
Yeah. And then, the other thing that I think was wearing me out is just the negative talk in general. Even when you weren't talking about me or the person next to me, it was just the overall negativity. So, like you're saying, Carrie, where you're just trying to do better every day, even if you individually succeed at doing better because you're in the toxic environment, it sort of nullifies whatever advancement you've made, which again takes me back to, I had to get out the building. It was an
understood.
absolute imperative to get out of the building, and I can't tell you how much better I feel already. And tomorrow is the first official day of being on my new location. And what's interesting is, um I don't know exactly what it's going to be like. Like, there are so many unknowns, so many variables, but I'm excited
But
about
it's a fresh
even that.
start.
I'm
You have
excited
the
about
ability
that. Hmm.
you have the ability it's like when you move into a new space, even though you might not be moving to the best neighborhood, the best house, the best anything, the fact that you get to start over and have a clean slate,
Yeah.
and
And
that's
make it
that's kind of where
yours.
I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's kind of where I'm
making it
at.
yours, because I
Yeah,
so the admin that
building
I
it from the
have with me,
cojones.
the admin that I have, I keep telling her, I need for you to get in your mind, we are about to be the boss biatches. Like, we are about to run this. We have eliminated a layer of a barrier to getting everything that we need to get done. We've eliminated that so that when we walk in the building every day, we make the decisions. We decide how successful the day will be. We're not deciding, I want to have a good day, and then turn to
Like
wait and see what everybody else is doing.
I can't stand this bitch.
walking on eggshells.
Hey,
Right.
Oh,
girl.
Right.
I
You know,
hate
I
that.
saw this good thing. We're gonna manifest positivity. This fucking cunt. Like, I know. I
Right.
used to work in
Right.
the office
And
environment, and there would be times, and I'm not gonna lie, during that time, I worked in a collection agency. So, hello, you deal with negativity all day.
all day.
But because the kind of people that have to do the kind of people that do collections have to be aggressive and
Mhm.
just it's a killer environment,
It is.
literally.
It
Lay
is.
it on them thick.
And I'd be the same way. Like I'd be like, yeah, oh my god, yeah, and that's why I left because I knew that for me, it just wasn't a space that I could see myself. One, they were never gonna let me go anywhere. I was gonna be a bill collector forever, and I was like negative.
Not right.
And then beside that, I just knew that like it just wasn't for me. But
Right.
anyways, so congratulations on your new environment. And I will say I
Yay!
did work in an office. I used to work for Aetna. And when I was a manager for like 5.5 seconds, because I ended up quitting. This is before this is when I was younger. So like
Mhm.
responsibilities and Daytona spring break was coming. They didn't want to give me
Yeah.
any days off. So I was like, well,
I guess I'm gonna have
there
to take
there
them.
goes that job. In retrospect, it was one of the dumbest things I ever did. I was gonna get laid off eventually anyways. Let's just look at corporate America. But anyways, I digress. I was uh I was a manager for like a department manager for like 3 months. And one of the things that I would do is I had this manifest notebook and like or not a manifest but like positive quotes and things like that, and every day I would be like, all right team, we're going to start this day with you know whatever we did yesterday, we left that at home, whatever the quote was for the day, and we would start with the day. And for me, I found that was very helpful because I have a tendency to carry over
Mm,
whatever happened yesterday and the day before yesterday, last week, last month. So I had to start teaching myself to just leave shit behind. And it's hard, especially when you're in an office environment and
right. And you walk back
everybody
into
hates
whatever.
everybody and nobody does anything right and
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so
It's sucky, sucky. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk
15
about.
minutes.
I know, I know.
Thank you for
We're here.
listening. Thank you
We're
for
here.
listening to our rants.
Yeah, but it was positive this time. Normally, it could go a whole nother way. But we're here to
Good.
talk
Well,
about.
congratulations on your move and being right across. You're going to save money on gas. You'll also save money on insurance. Call your insurance company and let them know that your job is now in your neighborhood.
Listen, it literally. I'm only saving 1 minute and maybe a quarter of a mile.
Oh, I thought you worked further away.
No, I work around the corner from where I live. It.
No,
You
no, no.
remember?
Before, when you were going to your office.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's all. It was in the same area already.
Uh huh. Hmm. Yeah. It
You're
takes me
paving the way.
it takes me 9 minutes to get to work, 8 minutes to get from my house to the front of the community, 1 minute to get around the corner to my building. Now I've saved 1 minute.
You heard it here
Anyway,
first. Mic drop.
I saved one
anyway,
minute. Uh huh.
TV.
Listen. If I owned a golf cart, I wouldn't have to drive at all.
Stop it.
Right?
I'm dead
Right?
ass serious.
We need a fund. Raise KC fund for the
I
golf
need a golf
cart.
cart, y'all.
Cat.
I need a golf cart.
Oh
Anywho,
my
Yeah.
gosh. What
anywho,
color do we want this golf cart to be?
listen, you just buy the golf cart. I'll get it dialed up. Not to worry.
Let's bling it out.
Wait, speaking of bling, did anybody see, was it a Mercedes, a BMW? Some
Yes.
girl blinged out.
Yes. And I think it was
I think it was a BMW, a little one.
it was either a BMW or a Mercedes, and it's pink.
Yes. One crystal at a time on this car.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
All I can think about is how much she depreciated the value of that car with each and every
Bling
crystal.
crystal.
Yes. Every
See,
drop
with a
of
wrap,
blue,
you can
every
rewrap.
crystal. Right.
But the crystals, they have to physically remove each and every one of
Like,
those, and
And you
there's
have
glue.
buffer them
ruined
all.
the glue.
You
You
have
ruined it with the
ruined
glue.
the integrity of the freaking vehicle.
Yeah.
So, girlfriend. But
Now,
if you got money like that, you don't give a shit. So anyway,
if And you said something interesting though, Kari. If she had wrapped it and put it on put the stones on the wrap, you got a chance there. But straight to the car? Oh no, forget about it.
Yeah, she's done.
Anyway,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All right.
Okay,
So
let's
you
get
guys
into
didn't
it.
come here to talk about blinged out Mercedes
We can if you want to, though.
compromising the integrity of a vehicle or
We can
our
if you want
lame
to.
job stories. You're here because what do we always talk about first? Raising Canaan.
Raising Canaan.
But I feel like Canaan's kind of raising himself these days.
Yes. Listen. Canaan, like I keep saying, with each episode this season, them balls drop lower and lower and lower. I mean, this kid,
he's feeling himself.
Thank you. He is feeling himself. But wait, let's put Kanan to the side for 1 second. Can we talk about the insane brother,
Ronnie?
There we go.
Ronnie. I don't even know where to begin with Ronnie. I mean, so Ronnie took his own brother out, right? And then basically, let's think about this. Basically, set Kanan up to sell product, and has turned into Kanan's enforcer. It's just I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to make sense of him. You know, Ronnie is so. I'm curious as to how many years Ronnie spent behind bars, because his behavior is very institutionalized. If you watch how he does what he does, he's still in this mode of you eat when you're supposed to eat. You everything is very rigid and sort of precise because of that experience of being behind bars. But I'm like, I don't know if he's not wrapped tight because he was never wrapped tight, if he spent too much time behind bars and is just straight up institutionalized and can't be normal. Like, he's just, I don't even know. He's just odd, just very odd. Like, you can't really predict where he's coming from.
What you can predict is he's gonna kill somebody.
Well, yes.
He is not afraid to pull out a knife or a crowbar or anything.
Whatever gets the job done.
Whatever gets the job done. So this is interesting, the dynamic. I too have questioned, because at first my whole take on it was Ronnie is positioning with Kanan as a power move, and to I still think that's what it is. I think Ronnie knows that Rock is his op. He hasn't liked Rock from day one. And we know that, he's not feeling Rock. Him linking with Kanan is a way to fuck with Rock and her emotions and to make her weak, because there's a lot of, even like she said when they told her that Kanan is her opposition, like that's her competitor.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So this puts Rock in a very precarious situation, because her normal, approach to her opposition would be war, confrontation, just taking them out. But this is her son, who she's struggling to have a relationship with. So it's not even like she could just go to him, like he's done with her. So again, it is an interesting dynamic. I mean, and I feel like Ronnie is intentionally getting Kanan connected with the people that he knows Rock does not want him connected to.
Well, because think about it, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Is my friend.
True.
So right now, Kanan is his friend.
And
and like,
Kanan wants to be around people that don't like his mother
because
because
it
he don't
just
want to
Mm.
hear about.
right, it just helps him out.
Right.
So
So let's talk
yeah,
about Marvin.
Marvin. Marvin, you know, Marvin for me is not the same dude from when the show first started. Like he's
Softened.
yeah, like he's more of a reliable dad, more of a connected dad, more of a good guy. He's a good guy who still knows he's a gangster. So when he has to go to gangster mode, he does. But the
Okay.
good guy is more present than it used to be.
I think I think that good guy was always there. I feel like we always saw Marvin. He was definitely gangster, but he always he just is a little bit more thoughtful. But it all happened when the mom came back and he saw how the mom treated Jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously he, hurt Jukebox, and like he's just happy that he's getting a second chance to have that relationship with her. And so Jukebox has softened him up a lot.
Well,
A
also
lot.
don't forget that about that therapist that he had hooked up with for because the jukebox
Mm,
situation and the therapist situation happened
mm,
simultaneously.
yup.
And so I think both of those situations sort of warmed his heart because in both cases, somebody significant to him was killed.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a further breakdown. In the beginning, they were both Lulu and Marvin were gangster for rock.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
since then, Marvin is thinking a little bit more sensibly. Lulu has developed a conscience and is
An
off his
Yep.
alcohol
rocker
and an alcohol problem.
Mm-hmm.
and an alcohol problem. And they are no longer, so Rock's strengths were that she had her brothers who were loyal, who
Mhm.
were willing to do whatever needed to be done
Straight up
and
ride or die.
ride or die. And she lost Lulu. Lulu's done. Marvin's out here saving crackheads. You know what I mean? Chasing this dream to make this big stardom thing for Jukebox. And it's just interesting watching how the characters develop into something completely different than they were season 1.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But the only thing that's remained the same is
Right.
Raquel.
Yep.
Raquel has
I
remained the
agree.
same.
Uh-huh.
Well
Yep.
said. Well said.
Yes, she has.
So, oh, hello. There was something interesting that happened. Juliana. Dun dun dun. Raquel took out Juliana.
Ah, okay. The bodega chick.
Yes, the bodega chick, the one that thought she was gangster all of a sudden. We
Yeah.
knew that her days were numbered.
So here's what I liked about that scene.
Oh.
This is what I liked. Is she basically was like, I did you a favor and when I didn't take you out. Like I made a mistake. Like here's the thing, I'm not making that mistake again. Sorry, you're done. And
Mm.
I'm totally bastardizing what it was that she said to her, but and I'm glad you remembered it, Kari, because I forgot. But when you said it, I immediately remembered. That was probably my favorite scene in the
Of
whole
that
movie
episode. Yes.
because her monologue in that moment was real. Dare I
You've been
say
a
gangster?
problem.
Yeah,
We were supposed to help each other. We were two ladies in a situation. I
mm-hmm.
needed your help, you needed my help. I took care of your situation. But that's so that I think in that moment for me, it was Rock very much knows how to disassociate from her feelings in certain situations.
Right,
So when it came to
True.
this situation with Juliana, she took care of business and there was no other, like had no remorse.
right,
Where Juliana is a grudge holder. She had a grudge with Unique. She has a grudge with Rock. She has a grudge with everybody. Like she's
right.
just miserable. And so she doesn't know her problem that led to her demise is she just didn't know when to shut up and just feel things out. She's one of those people that acts instantly on her emotions and
Mhm.
makes her decisions, and all her drive and ambition comes from those emotions rather than being observant, playing the cards, playing the game, knowing how to move pieces around. And that's also, but see, and this is the thing, they're the same, but they're different, because that's Rock's problem. Rock's problem is she is so, trying to do these things that she's looking at this person. Meanwhile, what she should be looking at is the person right next to her, or the person to, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
she's not paying attention to all the pieces on the board. She
Right.
gets fixated. And so that's the same thing with Juliana. And Juliana just does things with emotions. Rock does things from a place of she's seeking power, or she's,
Mhm.
you know, for her, it's always some, crazy alternative. But, yes,
Yeah.
that was the interesting scene. I was like, I remember. So I go through the line and I'm like, okay, so who did we see in the last scene? Like, going through the characters, we saw Ronnie, we saw Famous, we saw, Marvin trying to help the guy out. And then it was like, I remember Juliana. And then I remember the last scene where she was like, pew, pew. And I was like, oh shit.
Pew, pew.
It's a wrap for you, girlfriend. It's a wrap.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Dun, dun, dun,
Right.
dun, dun. Okay, let's have a moment of silence for Juliana.
She gets no love.
Okay, moment's
She
over.
gets no
Yeah,
love.
she gets no love, not from us.
What'd you watch, Des?
I just started watching. It's called The Beekeeper. It's a movie with Jason Statham. It's like really new,
Ah,
actually.
yes, I
Yeah,
did see a
it's
promo
really
for
good.
that. Is it
It's
it's a
really
series
good.
or a movie?
No, just a movie. Yeah,
Just a
it's
movie.
about two
Okay.
hours long, an hour and 45 minutes. It's really
Okay.
good. Really good.
Okay.
It reminds me a little bit of Wolf on Wall Street, like the beginning of it. So if you guys like that
Hmm.
kind of
I think
movie,
I saw
then
it. Is it where he's a beekeeper, and I think he's like, I don't know if he's undercover or if he's like
Mhm.
trying to get away from the life or something, and then all of a sudden these things start happening, and then he just like breaks out and he's like transforms. Yes.
Yeah, he does a whole bunch of stuff. It's insane. He like burns down a whole like operation, and it's kind of like working undercover, yeah, as a beekeeper, but he's tied with other things. Yeah. This guy should cop it. Watch it.
I'm writing that
Speak,
down.
The
speaking
Beekeeper.
of, I saw The Marksman, which
Okay.
is, what's his name from Taken? You know what I'm talking about?
Liam
The
Neeson.
guy Liam Neeson. Yes, the guy that always plays the negotiator. You have 5 seconds. It was good. I feel like he's been typecast into that role, kind of like Jason Statham. It's like once you become the action badass, you
Hmm.
kind of get stuck in those roles. But they're good at it, so I guess stick to
True.
what you're good at. So the marksman he's ex-military marksman, lives in Texas near the border, and he's older, retired, has a farm, ranch, whatever, and he's just moving on with his life, right? And um the cartel, there's a woman and her son who at the beginning of the movie, her cousin calls her and is like, you know the plan, get out of there. The cartel is coming for you. So she gets her bag of money and her little bag of stuff and her son, and she heads for the border. Well, needless to say, I can't give you all the details, but Liam Neeson, who lives near the border, his property, is right there, ends up almost running over the son, and in the process of this almost running him over, the son ends up in Liam's possession, and Liam promises to take care of the kid and get him to Chicago. And so the movie is the cartel crossing the border to come and get that kid, and now in the midst of a shootout, Liam Neeson his character took out the cartel's brother. So now they're after him too. And it was interesting. I kind of stay away from movies like this because they're generally the same. But it was interesting because there was a lot of things that, as a person who's not accustomed to running from the cartel, you don't think about like not using your credit card. You think the cartel won't be able to find your transactions. Meanwhile, the cartel's got some computer guy.
Yep.
Oh, we got a hit. So it was interesting watching that whole situation and then like dun 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 the fight off in the end. And it was another one of those like stories where at the beginning Liam Nielsen was like not trying to be like he was just like not having a kid. Like he was just like, damn, how'd I get in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, shut up, little fucker. You're lucky to be alive. And then later he kind of likes the kid. You know what I mean? The kid grows on him, and then so it was interesting. But yeah, definitely Ted on Peacock and just finished Percy Jackson on Disney Plus. Okay, John. I saw it, but I didn't see it. Pierce.
And we have some comments on X too. We got Gulioso Bundeo saying hello from Brazil. And Charles 94882384 saying good evening everyone from Philadelphia, PA.
The Philly.
It never rains in. What's that show called? There's no sunshine in Philly.
They wanted to shout them out.
Philadelphia, I think, is what it's called.
Welcome to
the first one was It Never Rains in Southern California. That's not the right one.
I know that's Tony, but
yes, I think the show was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think that's what it was.
Sorry, Jay. Jay would be so upset. So what have you been watching, Casey?
Okay, so something that was on my list last week that I want to make sure to mention this week is every so often I have this moment where I just watch nonstop comedy specials, nonstop 1 hour comedy specials, because apparently they're all 1 hour. And so a couple of weeks ago, I watched Gary Owen, Black Famous. It was hysterical. Now, what was interesting was this, I guess, was his most recent special, and he was talking about his divorce. So, of course, I had to pause the show, quick Google divorce, because, part of his whole shtick has been the fact that he likes Black women, and
he was married to one.
And one of the jokes he told was he hasn't been in White Kitty since he came out of White Kitty. But anyway,
stop it. Oh my god.
But so, and his ex-wife is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning. But what was interesting is he in talking about it in the show, he talked about the fact that it was all over social media, the fact that he was getting divorced, the fact that she was talking about it, and he kept saying, when you all find out exactly what happens, you're going to be like, okay. So I did a little digging, and she made it super scandalous on social media. And at the end of it all, he was like, yeah, we were just going in different directions, and I decided I was out.
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, wait, it can't really be that simple and that basic. Because apparently she was telling people he was out there on the road, screwing everything and everyone, and just really apparently trashing him bad. And he wasn't saying diddly nor squat about it until it was all said and done, because he said that he found out on, I want to say it was Twitter, that she wanted $44,000 or $40,000 a month, $44,000 a month.
Damn.
In support. And he was kind of like, yo, am I balling like that? Really? Oh, it was funny. But he was saying that the point of the title of the show, Black Famous, because he's from Cleveland.
Yeah, he's from Ohio.
Right. So he was like, you know, he was busy walking the streets, and he was like, black people would come up to him and be like, yo, you that dude, you know, yeah,
Right.
that's you, that's you.
Right. Because it's the African American community that most, like the type of comedy that he has really is popular in that
Resonates.
demographic.
yes,
Right.
right, because
Mm-hmm.
most of his jokes are things that the African American community understands. I remember watching one of his specials where he talked about going to church and how
Yeah.
long the church service was, and every time you thought that the preacher was about to end,
They play another
he,
song.
well, not even played another song, there's a whole nother
Segment.
ending to the coming to the, because
Sermon.
like and here's the thing, it that is actually sort of a well-known joke amongst African Americans in general, that we all know the benediction starts 7-8 times before it actually ever
Ends.
concludes, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's, he has definitely made a career out of
Sharing his
talking.
experience of
Yeah,
what
I
it's
mean,
like to be a white man dating a black woman, marrying a black woman, and
and living in that environment. I mean, because
right.
listen, because it's
I definitely
not
can
even
resonate.
it's not even just that his wife was black, which therefore made his kids black. His, when you see who he runs with, his crew, like everybody that he's tight with, is the whole black comedy circuit. So it's interesting because he got treated as if he was one of that circuit, that one of those
Because he gets it.
guys.
He gets
And
the joke. He understands. So being from the kind of the same scenario, it's like it's real interesting. And he was in an interview and he was talking about how a lot of like the white community does not accept him, and it's not even just because, like he was saying, like I don't choose my friends, it happens organically. And he's like talking about how people from the white community are just not accepting of the fact that he just, and he's like, I didn't choose this life chose me, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They always talk about like how he goes above and beyond to act black, and it's just like, sometimes you just are around people, you accept those people accept you, and when you are in that environment, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you know someone that says word all the time, you pick it up too. Or like a lot of my friends are Hispanic. So a lot of times they'll be like, dame un besito, like, it's give me a kiss. And I'll say that. But I picked it up from hearing it all the time. It's not me going out of my way to speak Spanish. It's just when you hear things a lot, like curse words, what do kids do when they hear curse words? They
it
repeat
repeats.
them. So
Right.
for
True.
me,
True.
I feel like some people, like, 'cause there's been a huge topic about misappropriating culture, right? And I
Okay.
think that some people just pick up certain things. And I do feel like there are people that have not only misappropriated the culture, but take it way too far. Way too far. Like, honey, chill. But I think there are just people like Gary who, you know, and he's also from Cleveland, so it's a high I think he even says in some of his jokes where he was like, he grew up in an area that was, very predominantly black, and so, I mean, it's just I think he's hilarious, in my opinion. I think he's funny. Like
He is.
he talks about like the church thing. You go to white church and you're there for an hour. You have, two songs, a sermon, you tithe, somebody gets baptized, and then they send you on your way. And he's like, then you go to black church and you're there for 3 to 5 hours.
Oh no, you're there for 5 to 7 hours.
Right, 5 to 7. I was being nice. And
It's
like
five to seven.
Yeah.
Trust you me,
he's
I
like, and then
know.
when you get done,
And
you've
then
got
you
to,
go back for the second service.
right, because you want to
Right.
get the full course meal.
Right.
So yeah, Trust and believe. Sunday is an all day event.
Yeah.
People get
So
saved multiple times. Sometimes the same person 3 times in one sermon.
it was extremely funny. I found it interesting. It's worth watching, and I saw it on Prime. So if you've got Prime, I would definitely check it out. Gary Owen, no S, Black famous.
No
Okay.
S.
Oh, that was one of his jokes too, because everybody's, most people refer to him as Gary Owens, and he's like, "There's no S.
Just Owen.
It's just
Oh, Owen.
Owen." Yeah.
Owen.
Okay.
Mhm.
I gotta bring up. What do
Oh,
you
no.
guys think about? What do you guys think about the two teams? Since it's gonna be February tomorrow, the two teams going to the Super Bowl. We have
Okay.
the San Francisco 49ers facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. So Desiree, I want to thank you very much for bringing it up, because I actually had playoffs Kansas City versus Baltimore on my list of things that I watched and wanted to talk about. So
Woo woo!
You can see my look of totally not excited right now because I do live in Baltimore.
It's not
I'm
your
excited.
team, right?
I'm excited.
But
And
it's
Why?
not my team either.
Thank you, John. I am excited for Kansas City, and let me tell you why. First of all,
You're
let
a Swiftie.
me back up to why I even put the Kansas City Baltimore game on my list. So, if you are old enough to know, there was a moment in time where uh, Black athletes were not allowed to be quarterbacks because they did not think they were intelligent enough to lead the football team. Because obviously, the quarterback is the leader of the team, the quarterback is relaying all the plays, the quarterback has to be able to mentally see what's going on, make those adjustments in the moment, la 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 la. It was well known, not a secret, not things we talk about quietly where nobody's around, well known that within football, they were not giving this position to African Americans, no matter how talented they were, irregardless of whether or not they were a quarterback, where they came from, they got put into some other position. So fast forward,
NFL do better.
Oh, there you go. Fast forward
Word.
to this past weekend, where you had two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, both African American. And Kansas City, Mahomes, this is somebody who has been to the playoffs 5 times in the last 6 years, something to that effect, and is extremely talented as a quarterback.
Facts.
Baltimore, dude from Baltimore, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, extremely talented as a quarterback. Could not get better. The biggest difference in this game between Kansas City and Baltimore is that Mahomes has been there several times in the last few years and had the composure to get from the first minute to the last minute.
Lamar Jackson.
Thank you. Lamar Jackson, as talented as he is, his team as a whole ain't ready. They're not ready. So,
Well, they changed the playbook. They played the same plays like all year long. And then they get to this game and decide to change things and fucked it up.
but even with that though, the you've got to have that steadiness. You've got to have that I've been here before. I'm not going to be shook if the other team gets ahead of me. Like I was saying to someone, I was impressed with Mahomes to the extent that I felt like, and this is a big thing for me to say, I felt like he was very Tom Brady like in terms of how he managed the game, how he controlled the game, when calls were being made that you're like, hell, things. I mean, he kept his composure, which kept the team's composure. You saw with Baltimore, like I said, Lamar Jackson, he held on, but some of his players started to crumble. And he has not gotten them to a place where he can hold them down so that they can keep their shit together,
They don't trust him. It's
So,
like
Right?
they're looking for a fall guy, and when things don't work out, it's easy just to always blame the quarterback, because the quarterback has to be, like you said, in control. The quarterback
Coordinated.
has to know his team. The quarterback isn't just responsible for their position, they're responsible for the whole field. They have to know where people are going to be, when they're going to be there, and to be able to get the ball in the hands of the best player to get as close to the field, to get as close to the goal as possible. So the problem with Lamar Jackson is that he doesn't even trust himself sometimes. There were times that you saw him go to throw the ball and it was like he was questioning his own judgment. And it's like when you're in that spur of the moment, you don't have time. So I think you're
You
absolutely
gotta
right.
deliver.
Not only is it a team situation, but it's also that they're still trying, like, you would think after a season they've developed enough trust and like figured it out. I think they got to the playoffs. They had some good games, but I think they got here by happenstance. You know what I mean? And instead of taking the approach of how are we going to make this happen, I think they just kind of got caught up in the excitement, and once the game started, hope for the best.
And the other thing to take into consideration is Kansas City was the underdog in this game. This is, again, team that's been to the playoffs 5 out of 6 years, has won the Super Bowl, and they were the underdog. So to some extent, they had absolutely nothing to lose. So they came into the game good. Like, this game sort of reminded me of the Super Bowl with the Patriots and Atlanta. Not that the Baltimore was, running up the score, but in that game between, Atlanta and the Patriots, Atlanta had came in with a confidence. They came in with a we ain't got nothing to lose. We ain't done this in a minute. And so they came in and they wrecked the Patriots. Except the Patriots had Tom Brady, who's been to the Super Bowl enough times to know game ain't over till the game is over. These fools came back, won the game in overtime, la la la. But there was a moment where Atlanta started to crumble, which is the only reason the Patriots were able to come back and beat them. And that's what I saw in Baltimore. They started to lose the game before the game was over. And yeah, that was.
And you can't let your opponent know. And that's the thing, that's one of the reasons why Tom Brady has been considered one of the greatest quarterbacks, is because he was good at spotting their weaknesses and being able to see which players were starting to get into their feelings, or even, feeling a little tired. Like Tom Brady was like Superman, and he could just got him. And
Yeah.
he knew how to navigate the field to eliminate those players, or he was just Tom Brady was a good, very good quarterback. And I do think you're absolutely right about the Kansas City quarterback. Was very he was in the game 100%.
Yep.
And
Mahomes and Kelsey were Brady and what's his face?
Check.
That's who they were.
Yeah.
And they posted some stats that had them breaking records. I mean, it's granted, I hated every time that they did something great. I had to watch Taylor Swift go, but nonetheless, I can't take away
You're
the
not a
fact.
Swiftie, Casey?
Hell no. Hell
Me
no.
either.
Hell no.
I just couldn't believe that they said that she
Gronkowski.
generated
Thank you.
what, like
John,
Gronk.
331?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold
Say
on.
it
300.
again.
John, we're going to need you to show up every week so we can talk sports. You can fill in the gaps for us. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry,
What were you
Des.
saying,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Desiree?
It was $331 million she generated for the NFL, like up to date. and she wasn't even like, she's like, I'm just here to support. I'm not here for like screen time and blah blah blah.
Don't
And
be
Can
stupid.
I
You
can I
know
share my
full well.
conspiracy
You know
theory?
full well that every time something
It
happens,
is an
the camera's on
entirely
you.
faked relationship. The NFL needed Taylor Swift
right,
to bring her demographic to start watching
right.
football because people weren't watching football in that age range. And Taylor Swift needed that extra attention because she's Taylor Swift and she wants to be Beyonce's status. But anyways,
Like my mama always said, you could stuff a turkey, but you can't stuff us.
All right,
Desiree,
mom. All right,
can we
mom.
can we get that on a graphic? Like, can we put this and scroll across the bottom of the screen?
All right, mom. Well,
You can stuff a turkey, but you can't stuff
stuff.
us. I was watching it on TikTok. They were talking about how, there's theories as to,
I
how
thought the relationship was set up too. I was like, she's doing this just for like, what is it called? To get
publicity.
publicity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
I don't think it's more for her. I think it's for the NFL. The NFL has, so now, because, this whole Swift and Kelsey thing, a lot of merchandise has been flying off the shelves because, everybody wants to be a Swifty Kelsey fan now. So
I was like, is she gonna do the halftime show? But you said don't know it's Usher, right?
Girl,
Or
I'm in it. I'm in it for
Usher.
Usher.
I gotta figure out
Yeah.
who got the biggest TV in the neighborhood so I can watch Usher.
Wouldn't it be great if we had a drive-in?
Oh my God. That
I want to be
show is
there.
going to be spectacular. It's going to be spectacular.
I'm so caught up.
But speaking of spectacular, I'm now making a change. I'm changing the subject because
You're a
friends,
Swiftie.
family. Oh, bite me. So tomorrow is February 1st, and tomorrow. Hold on.
Doing who I do it
Thank you very much.
Okay.
It made me graphic.
And then. Oh wait, hold on. Not right.
Hey girl, there's two of you now.
Just because it's February, we have a second birthday this month. Hold on, wait for it. Wait. They ask me what I do and who I do it for, and how I come up with this shit up in the studio. All I want for my birthday is a big booty hoe. All I want for my birthday is a big booty hoe. When I die, bury me in Sally Gucci style.
Boy, Desiree.
Thank
the Funko
you.
Pop.
Listen, I killed myself scrolling through Desiree's social media to find a picture of Desiree. And when I came across that, I was like, oh, done. That's it right there. That's it. Right there.
For the win.
That was
oh my goodness.
Cute. So happy birthday to my co-host. Woo-hoo.
Much love.
Thank you.
Much love.
I got a pair of new Dunks. My partner bought me some sneakers, and he's gonna cook steaks tomorrow. What are you doing for your birthday, Desiree?
Not much. Just having cake, chilling with fam. Might do some like community games. It's like my community for like streaming and game day, Discord stuff. So
yay! I think I'm gonna order cupcakes tomorrow.
Nice.
I don't know. I'll wait till tomorrow. I don't have anything special planned. I do have some friends that are gonna take me. So I'm involved in helping to organize a hair and fashion show that is geared towards the African and Haitian communities. And so I'm going to a model audition on Saturday at a really nice restaurant. So that'll be fun. And they're talking
Go
about doing
slay
brunch.
it, girl. Slay.
So I'm
Slay.
excited because it's
That's
a
cool.
very it's a very interesting concept, and it's very, culturally exciting. So I don't want to go look at the same, Victoria's Secret and stuff, because Fashion Week is coming up and I just don't want to see that shit. So I'm excited to see period pieces and all kinds of cool stuff. So
Cool.
that's my exciting weekend.
Well, we've got more things that we have to announce. So,
Oh, yes. There you come and see the EXXXOTICA. April 12th to the 14th in Chicago, Illinois, June 28th to the 30th in Miami, Florida, October 25th to the 27th in Edison, New Jersey, and finally, December 6th to the 8th in Washington, D.C. Go to EXXXOTICA.com for your tickets. And don't forget, Ladies Free Friday
at all locations.
at all locations. And September 13th to the 15th, 2024, we've got the 420 Expo. It's our third year. Go to at the 420 Expos on social media, 420expo.com for your tickets. You'll want to be there. It's getting bigger, better, and it's a great high.
Ha!
That's a good catch line. Like it.
It's a great high. And you can
finally,
always follow us on social media anytime, any place. We would love to get a little from you all.
And no show next weekend, right, Casey?
Yeah,
next
yes, I was going to say that next. I will be on a business trip next week, so I won't be home. Well, no.
You work 8 minutes from your house. How far, like, what kind of business trip is that? What are you going to trip on the grass? On the walk to your office?
Something like
She's
that.
going out. She's going out to touch grass.
Oh, she's going to go buy her golf cart. That's what it is.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get my golf cart.
I wish we all lived closer, because that would make a great like YouTube video. Is
Oh
like
my
if we
God.
all got together and go shopping for a golf cart.
That
I
would
want
be
to
crazy.
steal one. We could go. Oh, we could go to a golf course and actually steal a golf cart. Of course, we'll take it back. It'll just be a prank, but we could go and get a golf cart for you.
I live on a golf course. So.
Well, then we'll just hijack someone with a money gun.
With a money gun. Here's your payment.
If I paid them, and they're gonna be like, "Ma'am, these are fake 100s, lady."
Well, they wouldn't figure that out until after we, got down the road.
Off the golf cart, and we could leave a ransom note. We could leave a ransom note and be like, "You got to find the house where this is parked."
But here's what's crazy. So we wouldn't want to take one from the country club because they've got GPS in them and they'd find.
I was just about to say GPS, but also because we do care about your job, we wouldn't want to do it there either, because that would jeopardize your job.
Correct.
Yeah, we need you to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, maybe not a good idea.
It sounded like a good idea. Sounded like a good idea.
It sounded fun.
It did
for like 2.5 seconds.
Well, so the part that I was, I think, digging on was filming the three of us on a golf cart riding through the neighborhood. That would be that would be hysterical.
We could do it with the money gun. And I've got the boob bucks. I made boob bucks. So I'll put the boob bucks in the money gun, and we'll all have money gun. Oh, we'll give Desiree a bubble gun.
There we go.
And there'll be bubbles everywhere. So we'll have bubble and fake boob bucks. Just
yes,
that would be awesome.
And then we just need the drone to like do it.
Catch it all.
I got a drone. A drone.
We can make it happen.
Hey, see?
We can make it happen. Seriously.
Okay, but we just can do it in your neighborhood. We'll find someone else's neighborhood to do it in,
listen, I can get us a neighborhood. Say less. That's what I do.
Oh my God. It sounds like, when people are trying to plan a heist and they're like, I can get you a car. I can get you a car. You're like, I can get you a neighborhood.
I can get you a neighborhood. I got that. I got
Coming to a neighborhood near you. It's gonna be the three boobs, boobages instead of the stooges, booges. And yeah, so if you see us in a hot pink golf cart
Just trying to
with
say.
With the
Blinged
money
out.
gun.
Blinged out with a money gun and bubbles.
Bubbles.
That's
Love it. Love it.
Uh-huh. So from
Oh my
both
goodness.
sides, the money gun goes off, and on the back side is a trail of bubbles.
So it just looks like we're just like farting. But we have to have like a little boom box.
Of course.
So we have to have like a
We can have
soundtrack.
that in the
What
back.
songs are we gonna have playing?
I don't know.
Riding dirty.
Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the
Bitch,
way.
get out the
I
way.
think we'll take both of those. We'll take both of those.
That works.
What was your song, Desiree?
Riding dirty. Millionaire.
Yeah. Okay.
You see
So
us
here's what we're gonna do.
rolling.
We need to start a thread on Twitter, and we need everyone to help us find the songs for the soundtrack to our golf cart expedition.
Caper.
So
yes, our golf cart caper.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're happy that you joined us on another episode of BoobTube right here on EXXXOTICA.tv. Make sure you follow Exotica on all social medias. That's EXXXOTICA. We will see you in 2 weeks. Same time, same bat channel, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with all of that said, and you're following us on all the socials, we will see you guys on our next episode. Back to you, Casey.
I'm going to hit the right button.
Bye.
Yeah, hit the button, girl. Hit it.
Ah.
Just hit it.